Today I'm going to go over how we conjugate regular present tense ER and IR verbs. Our examples we'll use are the verbs comer, beber, which are both ER verbs, and compartir and vivir, which are both IR verbs. First thing we want to do is review our subject pronouns. So in the blanks here, I'm going to show you if I were to replace this subject with one subject pronoun, which one would I choose? When I'm talking about Susana, Luisa, and Marta, all three of which are girls, I would refer to them as they, and in Spanish I would use ellas. If I'm talking to Paco and Paula, I would refer to them with ustedes, since there are two of them and that's plural. El Señor Rivas is clearly someone in authority to me since I'm using his last name, and so because I'm speaking about him, I would say él. Tú y Maribel implies that it is informal, and Maribel, since there are two of them, the most common usage would be ustedes. But if you chose vosotros, that's fine too. If I'm talking directly to Señora Sanchez, I would use usted to speak to her formally. Alicia y usted, the two of you, y'all, I would use ustedes. Él, ella, yo, since this includes y yo, I know that I'm talking about he, she, and I, which is we, nosotros. If I'm talking to my cousin, someone that I'm familiar with, I will use the tú form. If I'm talking about Pablo, him, I would say he, él. And if I'm talking about mi mamá y tú, the two of you, I would use ustedes. Moving on to the conjugation of regular ER verbs in the present tense. My example is the verb comer, but first let's review the ER verb endings. So for the yo form, my ending is O. For the tú form, ES. And the usted, él, and ella form, E. Nosotros, EMOS. Vosotros, E with an accent, IS. And ustedes, ellos, and ellas, en. So if I apply those to the verb comer, I find the stem, com, and I add the appropriate endings, and I get como, comes, come, comemos, comes, comen. Talking about regular present tense conjugation of verbs that end in IR, such as the verb compartir, to share. First, we'll review the endings for IR verbs in general. O, ES, E. IMOS, I with an accent, S, EN. And if I apply those endings to the verb compartir, I end up with this conjugation. Comparto, compartes, comparte. Compartimos, compartís, comparten. So now you try on your worksheet to fill in the correct forms of these verbs. Pay close attention to whether the verb is an IR verb or an ER verb and use the correct endings. You can pause this video to do that worksheet and then come back to check your answers. And again, two more sets. So now I can apply the conjugation of ER and IR verbs to some sentences. In number one, Tito y Conchita, both of them are doing something with huevos verdes con jamón. Huevos verdes, green eggs con jamón with ham, green eggs with ham. What are they doing? Well, I'm going to guess that they are eating green eggs with ham every day. And so if I use the ellos form of the verb comer, I end up with comen. Ana Maria y yo, I know that's we, so we're doing something with the piñatas. probably breaking, the verb romper, and so we get rompemos. Te gustan los refrescos, ¿verdad? To blank Pepsi todos los días, o todas las mañanas. What do I do with Pepsi? I'm probably going to drink it. The to form of beber, bebes. Tú y Jorge, you and Jorge, the two of you, probably ustedes, are doing something la pizza con sus amigos. Whenever I see con sus amigos, it usually means that someone is sharing something with other people. And so I'm going to guess that this verb is compartir. And since it's y'all, you and Jorge, I'm going to say comparten. En el invierno, in the winter, los chicos, they do something para patinar sobre hielo. What are they doing in order to skate on ice, to ice skate? En el parque, viven. They live to ice skate. They're really passionate about it. In number 6, ellos blank cuando hace mucho frío. They do something when it's very cold. Necesitan unos guantes, gloves, inmediatamente. They sufren, they suffer. They suffer when it's very cold. They need some gloves right away. Juan does something, muchas cartas, a lot of cards, del amor a Julia. So he's probably sending love notes to Julia. Writing, escribe muchas cartas. Gabriel, Arturo, y yo, so Gabriel, Arturo, and I, we are going to do something, a lot of Christmas cards in December. We receive, recibimos. Number 9, los perros y tú, the dogs and you, blank, en el parque después de escuela. So you do something at the park after school, corres. The dogs and you run, corres. Yo blank el libro de la oruga muy hambriente en mi clase de español. So something about a book. I'm thinking it's read. Leo. Yo leo el libro. En el grupo de maestras de matemáticas, the math teachers, or a group of math teachers, no nos blank usar las calculadoras. Permite. They don't allow us. Permite. And number 12, something that you do the homework today. Para mí es muy difícil. Comprendes. Do you understand the homework for today? Comprendes. And so that is the end of my screencast for you reviewing ER and IR verbs. Make sure that you've completed the worksheet that goes along with this. And that you keep it somewhere in case I decide to check your work. At this point, you're going to go on to do some practice either on conjuguemos, Quizlet, or wordplay.